All right. Welcome. This is Fit Foundations. I am your host, Pope John, and with me, the men's physique national champion, Tom Cox. I don't even know all the rest of your
You can keep going.
decorations. I mean, he's humble. He's really humble. Thank you for anyone who's joining us on Fit Foundations. Fit Foundations brought to you by FitFluentX. Everything we do is designed around you. Come to FitFluentX for lifestyle coaching, personal training, gym management, and consulting. So today, being our first live stream, maybe bear with us a little bit as we kind of work through some of the, technical difficulties, potentially, hopefully. Everything runs pretty smooth. We've done quite a few tests, but we have worked in the fitness industry our whole lives. We are not 100% super tech savvy. So bear that in mind as we begin to move through this broadcast. For anyone joining us, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you comment below. Let us know where you're from. Give us a hello. And if you feel it in your heart, please share this stream. Our topics today are what gym is best for you, as well as personal training versus lifestyle coaching. What's the difference? Which is better? And we're going to finish up that segment with Ask the Pro from some of our social media people that follow us and that have asked some questions that they need some answers to. And we're going to ask an actual pro, not me. We're not going to ask me. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it with, what gym is best for you. Now, it's past January now.
Yes.
The January rush
Man,
is
flew
gone.
by.
And yeah, just like gone that quickly. Tom, tell me, like, when you're looking for a gym, because you frequent the gym, I assume.
Mini gyms. Yes.
Like, what are you looking for when you're going to the gym? Like, what kind of gym are you looking for? Is there a particular thing that a pro bodybuilder like yourself is going to typically look for?
Yes, and I'm glad you prefaced it with that, because what I'm looking for isn't what the general gym goer is properly looking for.
Maybe.
Yeah. So when I step into a gym, the first thing is atmosphere.
Okay.
So that's the lighting, that's the way they have the gym set up, decorated. I don't really like a gym that's too, as bad as it sounds, clinical. I mean, we worked in a clinical facility for many years, so I want to be able to step outside of that when I'm training and really feel like I'm in a gym, like an authentic, genuine gym.
For sure.
Another thing is equipment. My eyes go straight to the equipment to see what pieces I'm going to use personally that I know work best for me.
Okay.
So I'm looking at equipment sometimes as old as me, but still in operations, because sometimes that's the best equipment that I found.
Yeah.
We have equipment that today it might move and glide and slide smoothly, but I just like that old school equipment where you can still feel everything. The weight feels like it's a little bit heavier. The iron is just more raw. So that's what I personally look for in a gym first when I enter.
Yeah. Like, do you use typically, like, somebody who is a bodybuilder, like, do you even use the machines? Like,
yes.
Is that something you use, or are you like strictly free weights?
Well, I utilize both.
Okay.
And for most bodybuilders, they want to utilize both. I guarantee you the top professionals, I mean, they're going to stick to a lot of the fundamentals.
Yeah.
With the free weights, you definitely have to have a free weight, squat rack, hack squat, leg press, dumbbell racks with the dumbbells up to the appropriate size. We're looking towards 120s minimum.
I can't even roll those
weight
across the floor.
Yeah. So it was really cool that we had a gym, we are working with now, Top Guns. They have 145 dumbbells. I think those are the heaviest weights in our county.
Probably. Yeah, no doubt.
To get them from University of Georgia.
And there's only like 2 people that can actually move them.
It still has the UGA stamp on it. So that's
I'm sure Rex
cool.
had to bring those in with his forklift. Like, how does he even move them?
Right.
I've been in the fitness industry for a little over 18 years now. and I've sold thousands of gym memberships. Like, so, you know, I usually tell people, like a general public that's not a bodybuilder, you know, you're not looking to step on stage. But this time of year comes around and people really start to kind of process that, where am I actually going to go? Where am I actually going to work out? And I usually say you got to follow the A, B, and C of it, right? So you got to have accessibility. And I don't mean just like accessibility to the equipment. I mean like to your home, like to your work. If it's not within, I would say 5 miles,
Yeah.
are you even going to really go? I mean,
Kind of out of the
really,
way.
like, are you really going to go out of your way to try and drive all the way there? And I've met so many people, you know, like I've worked for Lifetime Fitness, which is a $1 billion organization. They have beautiful facilities. And people will drive to go to them, but people won't drive every day to go to them, right? So when you're looking for that, that's usually like my top thing. That's the A, you know, accessibility, making
Right.
sure you have something that's in close proximity to your home or to your work or to somewhere you frequent on a daily basis so that you can fit that into your schedule. The B is building. Like, is it a safe building? Is the roof falling in? Does the AC work during the summer? Does the heat work? Is the equipment in decent shape? Like the building overall. You know, there have been some facilities that, you know, maybe they don't have. I worked in a facility, you know, about 10 years ago, and there was one heat and AC unit for the whole building, and it was enormous. And if it went out in July, it was 110 degrees in there, and we just had fans. So everybody's just cooking like in a convection
That's
oven.
like a hardcore
Yes.
gym then.
And, you know, and it wasn't like by design that way necessarily. It's just, that's just the AC went out. It takes time for somebody to come fix it or parts or something like that. And so those are things you have to consider when you're walking into a facility. You know, is that going to be an issue for you at that time of the year? Is it cold in there? Is it, you know, is it safe? Does the equipment look safe? Not does it look intimidating? Does it look safe?
Big difference.
Yeah, so like the cable machines, are all the cables frayed? The dumbbells, do they look, when you pick them up, do they rattle? You know, like sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that's just wear and tear. Some dumbbells are built to have a little bit of rattle to them. Most are not. And there are a lot of gyms that don't think about that. And, you know, dumbbells that are made nowadays are usually like poly whatever covered, some kind of rubber coating on them, something like that. That's just a bell. But some of them do have screws that have to be tightened. You know, the treadmills, are there a bunch of out of order treadmills? Are there a bunch of out of order cardio equipment? What's the time frame that they typically get them repaired in? Do they know? You know, is it just like, well, we're just going to see how long we can leave it down? 'Cause it's expensive, you know, for a gym owner.
Absolutely.
To have to repair cardio. That's the most expensive thing. And C is culture. I always say, so you got accessibility, building, and culture. You know, if you're somebody who's never, ever, ever worked out before in their life, and you're just, I mean, walking into a gym for us is not intimidating at all. It's where we live. It's where, not, you know, I don't work out near as much as you do. However, I feel so comfortable in the gym and in that atmosphere, in any gym. It doesn't matter where it is. But for the average person, you know, it's not that comfortable. It's not, when you walk in, it's very intimidating, because you may not, you know what to expect, or what kind of people are working out there, or what kind of staff they have, or just the feeling. So I always say use the senses when you're gauging culture, right? You know, the sight, smell, don't taste, don't lick the equipment,
Don't do that.
there.
Don't do that.
But, you know,
Don't
does
advise.
it smell okay in there? Now, it may smell a little sweaty. People are working out. You have to take that in consideration. If they have a pool, is the chlorine smell wafting through the entire facility? That's not normal. That is not normal. You want to be able to smell some chlorine, right? You want chlorine in the pool. But if it's overpowering on the workout floor, something's up right there. If there's a pool and you're in close proximity and you smell no chlorine, that's probably an issue as well. Maybe they use a saltwater system, maybe they don't, so, but the culture overall is the feeling you get when you go into the gym. How does the staff greet you at the front desk? How do the other gym members
Do they even greet you?
or do they greet you? Or are they sitting there on their phone? This is what you see a lot. Hey,
Head nod.
and you want that greeting. You should feel welcome when you come in a facility, and any decent gym owner is going to go out of their way to greet you. Now, they may not run to the door depending on their staffing level, but you definitely should get some kind of intro into the facility. And the best gyms, in my experience, are the gyms that they have members that sell it for them. Right. So like you walk in and somebody's like, hey, what's up? And it may be all they do. For somebody who's just starting out, something that probably I've heard in my career the most intimidating thing is, well, they're staring at me or this person's looking at me. They're making me feel uncomfortable. No, but I can guarantee you that 99% of anyone working out in a facility is not going out of their way to make you feel uncomfortable. Now, there are a few jerks that live in the gym that want it for themselves, and they love going there when there's nobody there, and they hate it in January, and they complain because all these new people come in, blah blah blah. But that's what keeps the gym open. So those are the exception. And if you happen to come at a certain time, when you catch one of those people there, like you got to let that brush off. Like, but you want to be in a place that kind of inspires you to work out, that you feel welcome, that you feel like you belong. And always go, when you're looking at joining a gym, always go check it out at the time you're going to be working out. Don't go on your lunch break if you're not going to work out on your lunch break. Like, we've worked in the same gym, and there are plenty of people that come early in the morning, they stop by before work, and then they get upset because they work out in the evenings when it's the busiest. And they're like, well, it's so packed. It wasn't packed this morning. Well, everybody doesn't stay there all freaking day.
Yeah.
And some people just don't get that. Like, have you noticed that? Like, some people just don't understand that, like, there are certain times at the gym that are going to be busier.
Yes.
Right? And when do you work out? Like, what time of day do you prefer?
I like working out after I get a few meals in. Me personally, that's when I have the most energy, I feel, and I'm the strongest. So that typically lands between 12 and 2.
Okay. So you're like a middle of the day guy. I'm more like a morning. I like to get there early. I don't care how many people are in the gym. I'll find a way to get to the equipment that I need, or I'll adapt my workout.
Yeah.
Some people get stuck in that routine, though, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I use this machine, then I use this machine.
Oh, yeah.
And then I use this machine, and then I walk on the treadmill. And look, in January, February, March, that time, if you go in prime time, which is usually about 4 to 7, across the whole country, that's about the prime time of any fitness facility. The treadmills are going to be full. Like, that should be expected. You may have to wait. Don't complain about time limits and yada yada yada. Like, it's just you have to figure it out. That's just kind of how it goes. Is there anything else that you can think of? Like, what should people be looking for in a gym? Let's say from the cultural standpoint, what do you look for as a bodybuilder? Do you even care about that? Like, if the person at the front desk greets you at all?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Wherever I work out, it's not like I'm the person that just demands that respect, but just from working in gyms, in many different gyms for years, that is just standard practice when anybody goes into a business and you have someone staff that's paid to work at that business. That's definitely an expectation.
Yeah.
That should be set out. So
yeah,
I think you brought up a great thing when it comes to people making that decision for joining a gym. What to really look out for, because once you sign that waiver or once you make that commitment, it can be tough to get out of, especially depending on what gym you chose, and make sure that you read the fine print.
That's right.
And it could be the very first day when just scoping out the equipment, and you might not be as well versed in that equipment.
Yeah.
Never used it. And it could be like a chain link is broken or a cable is frayed and something snaps, and your first day
Yeah.
turns out to be pretty rough.
Yeah.
With an injury and you're already set back.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Definitely
last
that.
thing that we want for anybody that's looking to make a change in their life.
For sure.
So I think another thing that really that I look for out of successful gyms that really look out for their members is to have fitness professionals on staff.
Yeah, no doubt. And that'll just take us right into our next topic, which is personal training versus lifestyle coaching. Most gyms, not all gyms, have some level of fitness professional inside of their facility. What do you recommend for somebody? Let's just say it's somebody who's maybe tried to go to the gym. Maybe they try it every year and they jump on the treadmill and they hit a weight circuit or something like that. And they're like, this year is going to be different. Personal training or lifestyle coaching, what's the difference? Let's start with that. What's the difference?
The difference is really just the hands-on application with personal training, showing you how to use the tools.
Okay.
But that's just one small part of the equation.
Yeah.
That's 1 hour, 2 hours max of your day that you're dedicating towards that. No, we don't get stronger in the gym. It's actually the opposite. We're breaking down muscle. We create that stimulus, which if we meet the demands with our nutrition, that's where we grow. That's where we build muscle.
And that's where the lifestyle coach comes in.
Yes.
So the personal training being the person that's hands-on there with you, showing you how to use the equipment.
Yep.
Showing you the best form, the weight you should be using, the reps you should be doing, teaching you the way to work out, to lift, right? Or to do cardio. There are a lot of people that go in and just try to blast out cardio. I mean, I spent some time doing facilities work in some fitness companies I've worked for. I've seen more people fall off gyms than you can find videos on YouTube. I guarantee you. Like, I have seen people just shoot off the back of treadmills, fall off step mills, completely just embarrass themselves. And it's usually the person who was like an athlete in high school who hasn't worked out, and they just sat around drinking a bunch of beer for the past 20 years, and they come in thinking that they
ready to get right back in the saddle.
Yeah, or still run a 5.4 40, and they're just like blasting on the treadmill, only for their legs to give out 5 minutes in, and then they just take off. So a personal trainer really helps you develop the skills of kind of knowing where you are in because it takes a lot of self-awareness, right? Like when you join a gym, it takes a lot of self-awareness to go, here's where I really am and here's where I want to be. And a personal trainer really helps you with that. Now, on the flip side of that, like you said, the lifestyle coach is more about nutrition. So what does that involve for somebody who's thinking about, I'm thinking about investing in, online fitness coaching or lifestyle coach? What is involved for them? What do they get out of that versus the personal training?
Behavioral conditioning.
Okay.
And it all starts here. It starts in the head, starts in the mind. Making those changes in their lifestyle. And with some people, it has to be a more gradual approach. You can't just throw them a bodybuilder diet and expect them to adhere to it.
For sure.
And you've experienced that now since you've taken on clients for lifestyle coaching, and knowing exactly just by sitting down with them in person, you're able to tell very fast by looking over their food diary of that week, okay, this is going to be the best strategy for you.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do to make healthier options. I'm not giving you a specific meal plan with everything weighed out, because let's be honest, I just know you're not going to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't.
Because it becomes a waste of time.
Yes.
For the coach and for the person. Because I think people, let me ask you, do you think people have been conditioned, let's say by society, to just say, I want you to tell me exactly what I need to do and I'll just do it?
Yes. I hear that all the time. But it's actually doing that and executing and following through when you have those temptations of your circle and people around you and your lifestyle, your coworkers, the people that you spend a lot of time with every single day. And they're bringing in pizza, they're bringing in donuts, you have meeting obligations, being able to have those meals, keep them on a regular schedule and timing is very difficult for the average blue collar worker.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know,
I mean,
so-
I've found just working with my clients so far that, it can be very difficult to break the daily cycles, like the daily habits. A lot of people have that motivation at first to really make that change. But there's a reason I think that it's called lifestyle coaching. It's not a diet plan. If you want a diet plan, you can look that up online and find you a diet plan
that you'll follow for probably 3 weeks
Exactly.
tops, and you'll be right back to where you were in no time.
Exactly. And it, like you said, I think the best thing you said was like behavioral conditioning, like targeting the behaviors that you have in your life and being aware of them is probably the hardest part for most people. I found is that being aware of what you're doing on a daily basis that's not right is probably the most difficult thing, right? I mean, it's hard to admit that the biggest problem is me.
Yes.
And when you finally reach that point where you're like, it's me, like it's not this diet plan, it's not this diet plan. Sure, there can be some kinks in those chains. It's not this gym, it's not this workout. Sure, there can be some kinks in that. But ultimately, it's me because I'm not following a plan. And so, that's one thing that I've gotten the most joy out of being a lifestyle coach is actually having that ongoing relationship with my clients and being able to encourage them that you can do this. Like this, it's hard. It's hard. And I know it's hard because
I've been going through it.
Yeah. And I've talked to you about it before is the difference in people like you and people like me is it's your lifestyle already. It's the lifestyle you love. You love to go to the gym and work out.
Most days,
but in general, right? Like, of course, everybody has good and bad days, but in general, if you miss a week of working out, you're missing it. Like, you're literally like, I need
not a happy camper.
I need to go to the gym. If you eat like crap for a whole day or two, you're feeling a lot of guilt in that. Now, if I go out of town for the weekend and have a few cheeseburgers and eat out and a few beers, I'm probably gonna be all right with it. I'll probably justify it in some way. And it's just not in me. It just wasn't like instilled in me maybe at a young age that fitness and working out is something that I love to do. Like it's something that I know I should do, and I love the result I get from it, and I love the way I feel when I do it regularly. So I had to find that first, though, and that's how I became involved in lifestyle coaching, really, is because I found not a level of passion, but a level of discipline that showed me, I just feel better. I feel more productive. I feel so much better. And I really wanted to pass that on. Now, you do competitive prep as well. So like competitive bodybuilder coaching, like that's like a whole different level. Yeah.
Yes. Every meal counts.
Yeah. So like kind of explain a little bit let's just say the difference in what lifestyle coaching is versus like competitive prep coaching.
Well, I'll put it like this just to really easily sum it up. For my last prep from April all the way to December, I can confidently say with looking you in the eye, I did not miss a single meal.
Okay.
And I eat 6 meals a day.
Okay. And you mean like good meals?
Yes.
Not just
good quality whole foods. I mean, I had scheduled refeeds from my coach and higher carb days. My menu did change. I had variety and options all throughout. But my schedule, I did not deviate from it. And what was on my plan, I followed to the T.
Yeah. And you have
that
to.
That is the
right?
difference. Yes.
And you have to, because if you really want to step on stage and put forth the best product, you have to.
And even that is still difficult. Even with my schedule, I have the liberty to really make my own schedule with my businesses and working remotely. I have access to my food and I'm able to prep throughout the day, but there's still some days on the way here. I had to prep before I left and get that next meal in as we were setting everything up here.
Yeah.
So this just conditioned into me that by that point, like I'm going to eat 6 times a day, year round. And I'm still following a plan right now as I've transitioned from contest prep into the off season. It still has plenty of flexibility for what I like because I love food.
Yeah.
I'm still human. I like to indulge here and there, but I'm able to keep that restrained.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for like the average person wanting to, I guess, what would you say to the average person who's like, I can't reach my goals. I've tried it so many times. I don't know what else I can do, like, about personal training and lifestyle coaching. Should they invest, and when should they invest, and maybe why should they invest? That's a lot of questions.
I know it can be it's complex to answer just because everybody has different needs.
Yeah,
everybody, isn't financially secure to be able to afford both of those options. But if I had to choose one over the other, I would say it really starts with the diet.
Yeah.
There's no way you can outwork a diet in the gym. I could be the best trainer ever.
Unless you're like 18.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have a lot more flexibility with that, of course. But it really does make a difference when you see the diet combined with the work and effort put in the gym and executing those workouts like you should.
Yeah.
But, to add on to that, if someone just is really going to hurt themselves in the gym, have never worked with weights, maybe just the stimulus from working out with weights is really what they need.
Yeah. And a personal trainer can really help them with that.
Yes.
Just to get them started. Sometimes like personal trainers have, session by session rates, and sometimes usually the bigger the package you buy or the longer the term or something like that, the more you save per session. But you can use personal trainers as an intro to figuring out like how to use the equipment. What kinds of basic skills do I need to lift weights?
And I can talk from experience. When I was working as a clinical exercise physiologist, First Health, I mainly was working with older adults.
Yeah.
So you can definitely see progression in working with older adults without the diet model in place. Just working on mobility, just working on, post-op therapy work with them. A lot of the patients that were coming out of physical therapy, which was also in-house there, I learned a lot from that. But with working with those people, the diet doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
It's still progress. But for the person that's looking to build lean muscle tissue in the gym, you have to have a diet in place.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it more beneficial to invest in both? Like, would you recommend to somebody that would invest in both personal training and lifestyle coaching?
Absolutely. If it is in your budget, and really take a close look at your budget too. A lot of people can afford personal training if they made better lifestyle decisions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no
Just
doubt.
think about Starbucks.
Yep.
How expensive a cup of coffee is.
Can't take my Starbucks.
No, God forbid. But fast food, same thing. We get out eat. As Americans, we eat out of convenience and on the go. But those drive-throughs, they add up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt. And it's only getting more and more expensive.
Yes.
It's only getting more and more
inflation,
expensive.
everything's just skyrocketing. So you got to look at what you're spending on things that you really don't need to spend that money into, and how you can reallocate that and invest it into your fitness goals and yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really realize that. And it's like you said, a lot of people don't want to see that right away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
I've
hard
worked with-
transition.
Yeah.
It's
I've
a
worked
hard
with
transition.
a lot of people, truck drivers, smokers. I mean,
Yeah.
if you,
Smoke a pack a day. I don't have any money. I
Yeah.
don't have any money for it. It's
I
like-
love hearing that.
It's like, really? I mean, I know what I quit smoking. It's been over 2 years since I've had a cigarette, and I know how hard it is to quit. But at the end of the day, like, it only benefits you, right? Like, that's something that I was like, it can't hurt to not do that.
No,
Like, I mean, and the amount of money that I've saved since is probably astronomical, because I didn't even track how much I smoked. I just smoked, right? And a lot of people do, and a lot of people smoke a lot more than I did as well. And so
I tell you what can make you quit is taking that FX Underground class one time.
one time, yeah.
One time, and you'll think twice before you spark that
That's
cigarette,
right.
especially right after class.
That's right. That's right. For anybody just joining us, make sure you smash that like button. Give us a holla. Give us something. Comment if you have any questions. We're about to move into our Ask the Pro segment. And if you feel it in your heart, deep within your heart, please share this stream. So you're a pro.
New pro, yes.
You're a pro. You're a heavily decorated fitness professional. And so, we put it out to our followers on social media to give us some questions of things they need help with. And we had two that just kind of stood out. And we're going to kind of finish up the show and wrap up the show with these questions. And so the first one, Dear FitFluent X, I've been on the keto diet for 2 months now, and I'm no longer losing weight. I try to follow it the best I can, but I'm getting frustrated with seeing no results. I also walk on the treadmill every other day too. Help! What do you say to this person?
Man, I've heard this a lot. The keto diet. I will say the keto diet does work.
Yeah.
Let me say that first. It does work. For the average person, is it a sustainable diet model? No.
Yeah.
No. I know a lot of very disciplined IFBB pros that it would be hard for them to get their body fully into ketosis and maintain that.
For sure. Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's only so long your body can stay in ketosis successfully, right?
Yeah.
Like
your cognitive function.
Yeah,
you
I always
have
say
to
your
use
brain
glycogen, carbs.
needs carbs. Your brain needs carbs. And I think people have taken the keto diet
to the extreme.
Way too far. Just because you can have bacon doesn't mean you can Ron Swanson it and have all the bacon.
Yeah, and 90% of the fats that you use in your diet are saturated fat sources. Now, that's not healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where it's like, well, it's not carbs.
Yeah.
It's
still
carbs.
technically keto, but
Yeah.
you're causing more damage. You're still eating in a calorie surplus.
Exactly.
More than likely with that too.
This person getting frustrated with too much, what should they do? And walking on the treadmill every other day.
I would really look at total calories.
Okay.
What they're doing with their calorie expenditure, with their activity levels through the week. So with their cardio sessions, make sure they measure that along with their weight training. The best way to do it, and it might not be the most accurate way, but if they invested in a Fitbit, if they don't want to invest in a personal trainer and they want to go about this themselves, then this is a good tool that they could use just to see what their calorie expenditure throughout the week average is. Okay. The next thing that they would need to look into is logging their food, every single bit of it. So they might be eliminating carbs completely, but they're eating a ton of fat and not the good fats.
Yeah.
So the calories are probably not where they need to be. Ultimately, it is, I hate to say it because there's a lot more complex, but it's calories in versus calories out if they're looking to lose weight.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming that this person is doing. If they're cutting out carbs and doing cardio, and that's their emphasis of their question.
Yeah, and they're
focus.
I would say that they're probably, I walk on the treadmill every other day too.
But I will say this: there are people that I've worked with that just, working down. We've almost had to go to that extent. With a couple, I have been able to do that successfully, but that's not something that we dive straight into day one. Okay, we're going keto.
Yeah. Well, like you said, the difference
it's a last
in
resort.
A good keto diet is using healthy fats
yes.
and managing how much fat, because a lot of fats are so calorie dense that, you may be taking in twice the amount of calories you should be taking in. And you're like, I just don't know why I'm not losing weight. Now you lost weight quick because you lost a lot of water weight because you're not holding that level of carbs and those carbs aren't staying on your body. But, whoosh, it went away, and now you're starting to put on some weight, and it's probably not muscle if you're not lifting, if you're only doing cardio, right?
Yes.
Like weight training.
I've seen it so many times that people that just do cardio and cardio alone and focus on it, they have that skinny, fat, melted candle wax look. They're still the same
fat
body composition. They're just smaller.
Yeah.
So if they really want to shape their bodies, they have to look at their diet, and they also have to look at resistance training.
Yeah. you change that body composition.
Yes.
So that you're putting on, because I mean, isn't it like the more muscle you have, the more natural calories you're going to burn each day?
Yes.
And so, and you make sure your protein intake is there. Like if you're taking in all fat and you're
protein
not taking
with the thermic effect of food, protein, your body is going to utilize and burn more calories just digesting protein.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we promote a higher protein diet.
Always a higher protein diet. All right, our second question and final question. I'm looking to improve my lifting, and I'm thinking of adding creatine to my diet since I'm only taking protein currently. What do you recommend adding? Creatine good? Is creatine still a thing?
I was going to touch on that first. Yes.
Yes. I didn't even know it was still a thing. I took creatine when I was like 19 when it first came out and like was all about it there for a little bit. But like I didn't even realize it was still.
It's crazy. It's the most clinically researched, tried and true supplement that's out there.
Really?
It works.
Okay.
It works. For power, for energy. The con and people that they focus on is water retention.
Yeah.
Is minimal water retention. Your high sodium and high preservative intake food is more than likely what's causing that extra water weight to come on with it. But that's its function, really. It holds in intracellular water to the muscle. It helps you build and grow and really feel the muscle working during those sets. So I definitely do recommend creatine monohydrate specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, to use. So that's a good
There's so
start.
many different kinds of creatine.
Yes, there's creatine, HCl.
I didn't even realize that it was still that popular, to be quite honest. It's been so long since I've taken it. Not because I didn't like it. I just, typically stick with protein.
Yeah.
And try to get my meals right and just lift.
Because creatine's become like a supplement that's like an additive to a blend of supplements. Yeah. That's what you see more of it now. You rarely see it just like standalone.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking is that I was like, it's like, I think it's part of my protein shake that I already take. And so that's why I was surprised. It was like, I remember dumping a scoop in my mouth after a workout and then chasing it with a protein shake, with the most awful tasting protein ever.
Yes.
The most awful tasting protein ever.
But something that they could add to that. Now, what is their goal?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
So it says they're lifting. So I'm going to assume, and it was a male, so I'm going to assume that it's putting on some muscle. They're trying to add some level of muscle.
Okay. So another thing I would recommend is having like really just to help with hydration. Mostly like this is a luxury supplement item. I wouldn't say it's really necessary for everyone, but someone who's looking to venture out and expand their supplement use, like this individual. Having like EAAs, essential amino acids, intra-workout, and also just to flavor their water. That way that promotes them drinking more and staying hydrated during their workout. I know for me, I like flavored water. I'm going to be more inclined to drink more water if I enjoy the taste, for sure. Right?
Yeah,
so that's why I personally like using BCAAs, EAAs, and essentially what their role is pretty much providing an anabolic armor. So when you're working out, you don't want to be digging into your muscle for energy. Yeah. So having essential amino acids, which you should be getting with your diet, really.
Yeah.
Alone, but some people don't have that diet in place. So I know of a couple of individuals that are just very, very lean.
Yeah.
Like probably undereat. And that it probably served them better if they're working with weights. And they'll notice that they're going to have their recovery is going to be better. And that is something else they can easily add into this relatively inexpensive compared to other supplements.
Okay.
Effective.
Maybe I need to add it. Yeah. Get my luxury supplements on.
Hydrated.
Like I said, I typically, not that, I take a multivitamin, but I typically stick with like a high-end protein that has a bunch of aminos in it, creatine in it already, so that I don't have to sift through a plethora of supplements. That's just me. But I definitely I would recommend to probably this person try try some different stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and that's what I was
add
thinking,
some
like with
stuff.
this person, they're looking for supplements they want to utilize in the gym. For health and longevity purposes, the number one supplement I would recommend that most people aren't probably utilizing effectively or regularly is fish oil.
Fish oil.
Yes, just to get there. Yeah, people don't. I know you like fish, so you probably get
I like
plenty
fish.
of it.
Yeah, I like fish. And I mean, I used to take, I switched to krill oil a little while after because like when you burp up.
Yeah, and you're still
oil
able, as
pill.
long as you're able to get your omega-3s, your omega-6s, and it's good for cardiovascular health overall.
No, I had to stop the fish oil. Like I'm not
fish
saying
burps-
it's
the
not.
fish burps were getting to you.
It was just so concentrated
Yeah.
in that one pill, and you're just like, please don't let me burp.
And that also be careful because a lot of the fish oil capsules that you get, make sure that you cut them open and actually smell. If it smells rancid, like more than it should, throw them out.
Really?
Yes, there's a lot of fish oil supplements that are out there that have rancid fish oil, and they'll make you very sick if you take them regularly as you
God.
should throughout the day. So make sure you're
taste it.
Yeah, you're doing your research in what supplement companies you're looking into for these products, because something as as general and used a lot like fish oil that we can find, you'd be surprised at how many companies really take the easy way.
I
Don't
wouldn't
put
be
it-
surprised.
Yeah.
No, I mean, every
It's not
company,
FDA
every
regulated.
company, they try to turn a profit. Like
Yeah.
that's what they want to do, right? Like
Yeah.
they want to turn a profit, and that makes sense. But, you have to know what supplements you're buying. Buy quality over quantity. I mean, it's gonna be better. It's gonna taste better, for sure. Like if anybody's ever bought a generic protein shake that barely mixes, it's full of fillers,
Chalky.
and you're trying to just force it down. Now, when I was like 18, 19 years old, when I first started taking protein shakes, that's about all there was. Like there was like standard brands. There weren't high premium brands like there are now. Now they were marketed as high premium brands,
Of course.
but they weren't actually any different. They were just name brands. But now they've got such an array of different flavors
blends.
and different blends, and how your body metabolizes it and how it works for you. Always go with the higher end.
I can't do whey with my recent digestive issues over the past 2 years. I've had to stay away from whey and certain whey isolates even. So I really stick with like really pure whey isolate as long as it agrees with my stomach. I can't do egg whites. That's another one I just have to stay away from. So if protein has egg white blend in it, I have to stay away.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you got that kind. I got an
yeah.
iron stomach, dude. I can stomach
You're lucky.
anything, dude.
I can eat a lot, but some things I just have to stay away from or I have to flare up.
Before we stop, like, what's the worst supplement? Let's say a shake or whatever. What's the worst tasting supplement you've ever had?
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, you're gonna have to think back that far.
Well, it's crazy because sometimes the worst tasting supplements actually work the best, and it's because they had real ingredients in them that was so potent, but they just didn't taste that great going down.
Yeah.
So I've had one that tasted horrible, horrendous, like nearly made me vomit, but I had the best workout ever
Really?
after it settled in. Yes.
Oh man, when I lived in Durham, and this taught me a lesson at the same time. I went into, I don't know if it was a GNC or a vitamin shop or some supplement store, and I went in and I saw on the clearance rack. Don't buy from the clearance rack.
Never from the clearance rack, especially in GNC.
I bought from the clearance rack something. I'm not going to say the name of the company. I don't even think they exist anymore, but I'm not going to say it just in case. It was some kind of protein, right? But it was supposedly grape flavored. Now, I don't know what kind of damn grapes they've had in their life or how old it potentially was. I couldn't get it to mix, like with a blender. Like I couldn't get it to mix. And I was like, I'm just going to force it down, right? Because even though it was on the clearance rack, it was a huge jug, and I still spent a ton of money. And I was like, I don't know what kind of damn grapes they ate when they made this, but it wasn't, and I don't expect I don't expect Fanta, right? I don't expect Fanta. Great. It was like a great. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever had, ever. There may be one exception to that with something else I've eaten that's more disgusting with some coconut water I had a few years ago. But other than that, it was.
Well, Jonathan, I have to be honest with you. For you choosing protein as great flavor, you probably deserve it.
Probably. There's a reason. I learned real quick. There was a reason that was on the clearance rack. Because there's
like strawberry
no
milkshake, banana, like those fruits, those are safe.
Only one. Like I was thinking, like because typically on the clearance rack are the full brand lines of what didn't pan out, right? Like they'll have stacks of it. Well, this was the only jug of this. Now, for all I know, it was like 10 years old. And it was like a first generation product. I don't know. But it was by a product that I trusted with other supplements. And so I thought, it can't be that bad. I was totally wrong. Totally wrong.
I got to answer, though, now that I've had time to think about it. The original Jacked 3D pre-workout, but it was expired.
Oh.
It was clumped up. And when I opened it, it was almost like those smelling salts that powerlifters use.
Oh God!
It burned my eyes. It was clumped up like a crack rock that was just in the side of it, and I just scooped it out. Somehow shaked it up, dissolved it somewhat, and downed it, and I just had the most pounding headache. Couldn't even make it to the gym.
Yeah. Don't buy expired supplements, people, and don't buy off the clearance rack. Buy something quality and premium. Okay, well that's going to wrap up our first Fit Foundations, brought to you by Fit Fluent X. We appreciate everybody being here with us. We'll be here every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. And we'll put out some I guess some previews of what we're going to be talking about. If there's any other questions for Ask the Pro, we appreciate everybody joining us today, and we will see you next week. Later.